Hey guys, Guts and Blackpowder has tons of regiments you can get, with some of them being very magnificent and others not. So today is part 2 of making a tier list of Guts and Blackpowder regiments. If you want to see the first regiments, then go back to the first video. And if you want to support me, join my Discord link in the description, because I'm creating an army of people. Now the criteria of which I'm ranking these regiments is 3 categories: drip, physical value, and historical significance. With drip being how good the style of the uniform is, physical value being the most important, which is any advantage given by the regiment, such as bagpipes or a flag on the pike/lance. And finally, historical significance, which is just how important the regiment was overall in the Napoleonic Wars, or if it has some cool history behind it. Anyway, let's get into it. Alright, first we look at Regiment Pack 4, starting with what is also arguably one of the best regiment packs there is, with these 3 really interesting regiments. We start off with this Austrian whatever that is, because I'm not pronouncing it. It's some sort of landwehr regiment, meaning it must be a conscripted militia, which we learned about from part 1, where Austria created this program to get loads of conscripted troops. The regiment has this grey and red uniform and this weird looking top hat. The officer wears this green and red uniform and gets this pirate looking hat, like they're about to plunder the seas for treasure. The historical significance of the regiment is, as it's an Austrian landwehr regiment, it was a militia made up of normal conscripted people to fight Napoleon and have been poorly trained, really just having a bad time. You'll have to remember, Napoleonic warfare is probably the worst to be a soldier in, as the battles consisted of you and your buddies walking in a line to the enemy, while artillery would explode all around you. Shrapnel hits the guy next to you, but all you can do is keep walking forward. Then, through the grey smoke, you eventually see the enemy line and begin quickly firing your shots in unison, hoping yours land and theirs don't. Basically playing Russian roulette. The only thing that could increase your chances of survival was reloading faster, and that was it. It was basically random if you as an infantryman survived or not. Now the uniform is not drippy and looks really similar to the free Austrian regiments. So only because of the officer's outfit, this regiment gets put in D tier and not F. Next up, we got the Guards Lancers, which is a French cavalry regiment. Now these guys have some drip on them. We got this magnificent red and blue uniform with this nice hat as well. The lance comes with its own flag, making it look really cool. The officer also gets these bread pants and a bigger hat. And the musician gets this white and red uniform, which is also really drippy. The regiment has a lot of historical significance, also known as Napoleon's Polish Lancers. It was created when Napoleon entered Warsaw and was escorted by an honor guard of Polish noblemen, who he thought were so loyal that he made a regiment of Polish Lancers and embedded them into his imperial guard. Imagine being such chill guys that Napoleon himself tells you, yeah, let me just take some of your cavalry to be my army. In all of Napoleon's campaigns, they were known for crazy charges and heroic feats, making them very well decorated and renowned. But after the Russian campaign and the horrible Battle of Leipzig, they were reduced to basically nothing. And all scattered members were formed into a small unit that fought bravely with Napoleon through the Battle of the Waterloo. Their uniform is incredibly stylish and flashy, has great physical value with the flag, and has great historical significance, making these guys an easy S tier. Next up, we got the King's German Legion. Now this regiment has a black and green uniform, but it's really nothing too special. The officer has a different hat and the musician gets this small little cap that looks kinda cool. Historically, the regiment was made up of German expatriates, but fought with the British anyway. They were in many campaigns, but getting most of their fame from the Battle of Le Hay de Saint, where they defended the fortress even when ammunition ran out against waves and waves of French forces. Since they got a decent uniform and decent historical significance, I'm putting them at B tier. Now we move on to Regiment Pack 5. Where we start off with the British Vignettes 2nd Rock Troop. They have a pretty cool outfit that looks like a mix of an artillery uniform with a cavalry soldier's helmet, and I personally think it's pretty drippy. Now this was a really hard regiment to research because it was really experimental and there is not a lot of info known about them. It was commanded by Captain Edward Wignetz. The regiment was unique among the Royal Horse Artillery troops at Waterloo, as it was armed with concrete rockets in addition to normal cannons. The rockets kind of look like a firework, and I can't figure out if they did a lot of damage or not. And it seems they're predominantly on horseback carrying their equipment, which is why it's placed as a cavalry regiment in the game. It's pretty interesting. And those rockets look pretty interesting as well. Anyway, I like the blackish blue color scheme with the gold, and the helmet is also cool. Plus it's got interesting history, so I'm putting it in A tier. Next up is the Kongians live. I don't know how to pronounce this, bro. Anyway, I don't know why all the unknown regiments are in this pack specifically. Because how unknown does a regiment have to be for the first image to be of a furry OC? Like what? It has this weird dark and green uniform and an odd hat, but there's some nice variation with the gold tassels and the officer's uniform, which is welcome. Historically, this was another poor volunteer regiment that was sourced from primarily Copenhagen. They would end up distinguishing themselves in particular during the British attack of Copenhagen, where they defended it valiantly. Other than that, not much information is shared about them. It's got a decent uniform and decent history, so I'll put them in B tier. Next up, we got the Chevaliers Regiment. Their uniform has this green and red color scheme and this weird helmet thing. The most important of all, you get a Bavarian flag with the pike, which is a huge plus. The officer gets this blue and white belt thing as well to really emphasize the Bavarianness. And the musician wears this red coat. During the Napoleonic era, Bavaria fielded multiple Chevalier regiments. It was a type of light cavalry that was used for reconnaissance, security, and battle. It was disbanded after the Napoleonic Wars and really just turned into normal cavalry. There is not really that much information about this regiment, but it has a decent uniform, but just nothing too special. Like the flag puts it way up there, but I feel like it's just not enough to be an A, so I'm putting this at a very high B. Now we get to Regiment Pack 6. First up, we got the 2M Dragoons. Now Dragoons were a special type of cavalry that was basically mounted infantry. They would use pistols or carbines instead of other cavalry weapons like lances and sabers. Here we got a green uniform with red tassels, which is really similar to the French Foreign Legion we saw in the last video. It comes with this cavalry helmet, and there's some variation to the uniforms, with the officer having a slightly different helmet and the musician having a uniform with gold stripes. Historically wise, the regiment was a medium cavalry that would sometimes go on foot, and they had major contributions in the Battle of Austerlitz and Jena, and is one of the oldest cavalry regiments of France. They fought in every one of Napoleon's major campaigns, all the way to the campaign of France. They have some significant history and a decent uniform, but there's just nothing too crazy about it, so I'm putting it in B tier. Now we got Les Canonniers Corps les Coups. I don't know how to pronounce that. Oh my days, like this actually might be the worst regiment pack, because why do they all have the same uniform? Here we got a bluish green color with dark sleeves on the slide, still with the red tassels on the shoulder. There's some change with the officer losing the backpack and getting gold tassels, and another different uniform for the musician. But like, why do we have the same uniform every single time? Like, what is this? Historically, this French regiment is basically an artillery regiment off the coast of France. It was the Coast Guard. Think of it as that, it's the Coast Guard. And this was used to defend the coast from enemy landings, or more specifically, to prepare in case the British Navy attacked, which was known to attack French boats from time to time. Honestly, due to the absolute oversaturation of this uniform, I'm putting it in C, even though this guy is still pretty cool. Finally, we have the Danske Landevin, which is a Danish regiment that has the uniform of what looks like a pilgrim. Like, what is this? But the officer looks pretty cool with that pirate looking hat. Musician just has a change of pants. Historically, this was a Danish national militia. What, these guys, bro, always trying to build up militias instead of getting an actual military. Anyway, because it was a militia, it was basically normal people conscripted into here and forced to fight, which is why the uniform looks like that with the weird hat. Essentially, it was a national defense force for the country. And eventually in 1808, Denmark revamped its military, getting rid of this national defense force and taking its best units to make a functioning military that would fight alongside France. It's got an interesting uniform that I don't personally like. Our opinions may differ, but because of that, I'm gonna put it in C tier. Honestly, the most lackluster regiments were covered in this video. I'm sure in part 3 we're gonna see some more stuff. Some more cooler stuff. Anyway, if you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe, and give me a comment. If this gets enough likes, I'll make part 3.